Swaminathan, now I'm going to ask you a question, and this is for everybody. Yes, Swaminathan, can you hear me? Yes?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay. So Swaminathan, now, why am I saying it's become a norm? We have become immune to certain things. It's like like this. If you take a needle and just keep pricking it at one part of the skin, after some time that skin becomes numb. Am I right?
Okay.
Yeah. So our industry has become like that. So I'll ask you a question. Suppose for 1 week, Monday to Friday, or Monday to Saturday, or Monday to Monday, I don't want any disturbance on the weekend, because generally all the problems start coming up on a Friday afternoon or a Friday evening. So let's say Monday to next Monday. When you start on a Monday, go to the office, you get only noon messages from the ship. I'm giving a very hypothetical situation. You get noon messages, maybe some routine requisition items coming in, and you have, let's say, 10, 15, 20 ships. You have 45 ships, right? Yeah, you have 30, 40 ships or whatever. And you get only noon messages, requisition, nothing great, no breakdowns, no incidents, no injuries, no near misses, nothing. Monday goes, Tuesday goes, Wednesday goes, Thursday goes, Friday goes, Saturday, Sunday. And you come back to the office on Monday after the week, and there's nothing that's happened at all. Everything is fine, only noon messages. Will you be worried?
Absolutely. Something wrong.
Something is wrong. So this particular statement, put something is wrong, is not coming from Swaminathan, it's coming from an industry sample. Almost everybody, 99.9% people in the shipping industry would say this. I suppose you had to ask, Singapore International Airlines manager operations, hello sir, Monday to Monday, you have, that's perfect. We don't get this. We don't have incidents. We don't have things like that. It's very rare, and when it does happen, we're all on the alert. So they're accustomed to not getting, but our industry has become accustomed to, getting these defects and failure, right? So on the lighter side, I'm having a decent discussion with all of you. So I'm highlighting on how you can improve your auditing, and you haven't improved it. You means the industry has, right? So I'm going to come back to an example. One second. I'm going to come back to an example. Little bit later. Okay. So let me just go to this slide out here that we have average auditors, and what are they doing? When they go on board, if the cook is unable to start the emergency fire pump, the chief engineer is not updated the oil record book, then they assess compliance with procedures. I'm sorry, Mr. Chief Engineer, you haven't complied with the procedures, so you're getting a non-conformity. During the course of audit, we observed that bunkering operations and weekly reportings were not updated for the month of February. Right. So I'm assessing compliance. I'm a 3-star auditor. During the course of auditing, we observed that the cook was unable to start the emergency fire pump, and it appears that the familiarization was not properly carried out, in brackets, by the third officer. Right. So we are assessing compliance with procedures and policies. Yes, Montero, that's the way it is. Okay, as an auditor, right?
Yeah, normally. Yeah.
Normally, right? So that's it. So now we will see how we can go beyond that 3-star, get into a 5-star, go beyond the compliance, because Montero was saying we need to go beyond compliance. So we need to understand many things actually. It's not just going beyond compliance, looking at it, but looking at the effectiveness of the process itself. So out of 10 auditors, perhaps 9.9 do not go beyond assessing this. Very few who actually go beyond that 9, beyond that assessing compliance and assessing the effectiveness. So let's try to figure out how to assess effectiveness of the process. Okay, right? So we will take.
Shall I interfere?
Sure.
Having said that, as you said, for 1 week there was no report, the noon report, everything was fine. Provided you have a transparent system that even a minor thing needs to be reported to audit, like even a small. right?
Right.
In such case, that we run a management company or a shipping ownership company, where each
Yeah.
and everything drop of a boat is being reported, then I would say that 1 week without accepting a report is something wrong.
No,
People,
but Swaminathan, between you and me, we know that our industry has got accustomed. Oh, sir, what happened? Oh, the compressor is broken down. Anyway, sir, fixing it up. We have, the spare parts have been thrown and we get in a short while. They tuck, and so they manage, chief engineers managed it, and we're pulling that through and blah blah blah. I mean, I think we are very used to it, Swaminathan. Am I right? This firefighting, right?
firefighting, you can say firefighting,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
reporting any incident immediately where you follow it up, how is it followed up? That is the problem. What we say
Okay.
as a management systems or SMS, the perfect system comes into place there.
Yeah, yeah. No, what I'm saying is that our industry has we have reached a stage that if everything goes fine for 8 days, we are uncomfortable because actually we got so accustomed to near misses incident breakdown that if for 7, 8 days we don't get something is going to happen. Nothing has happened so far. And AI, everybody's okay. All your 45 ships, are you okay? Oh yes, sir, we are okay. It's no problem or something. So it's a matter of concern when nothing is happening. That's what I'm saying, Swami. I mean, our standard is like that,
I agree.
right?
I agree.
Yeah. So our standard is that. We shouldn't be in that standard. I mean, we should be very happy. You say that, we have 300 days of no near misses or 300 days of zero incidents. So you claim that, industries claim that, blah, blah, blah. So whether it's a show-based industry or whether it's what we call shipping industry, right? Okay. So basically, what I'm saying is our standards are a bit low, and I'm not blaming any particular individual. The industry has become like that. Industry has become like that because why? We have become expert firefighters. I mean, every superintendent in the office, when he comes there, he learns firefighting in the first 3 to 6 months. After that, you have a problem, he opens his dictionary. Oh, yes, this problem, this is a solution, sir. You have to do that. So, just tweak here and there. So, we copy paste and do that. So, what happened on that ship? So, let's do it here. So, the tweak here and tweak there, and we follow that. So, basically, we got very accustomed to that, and we believe that we are very smart in doing that in firefighting, whereas we spent more time in the office discussing, hey, what's happened to the compressor, the problem, oh yes, the spare parts, yes, spare parts, yes, the spare parts of which you can start work. Okay, what's the update? That's all done, sir. Okay, great, fantastic, okay, good. Let's close. What about that now? Auxiliary engine problem. So, we are good in expert in firefighting, but we forget that we need to go back and check, excuse me, why did the press fail? Can we do a root cause analysis? First of the chief engineer is hopeless. He was just hired and we not updated. The second engineer doesn't know the job. Oh, that's a root cause. Yeah, that's a root cause. And that's it. We end it there. The root cause is we don't do a root cause analysis and we hang on to some what you call silly interpretations by inexperienced persons in the office or vested interest or whatever, and the chapter is closed. So we spend 80% of the time firefighting, 90%, and that 10% when we should do root cause analysis to find out why it happened. Because after 6 months, again, so what's happened? Oh, that compressor on the ship was just gone. Oh, did you not tell them? Oh, man, I told them the chief and signed off. New guy came in. Oh, so you didn't say anything. Oh, no, we didn't carry out. There you are. So this is typically what happens. Am I right, Swaminathan? I would be exaggerating a bit, but am I close to the facts?
I disagree. I disagree.
Okay,
The
go
reason
ahead.
being, each and every failure or each and every incident, we have a defect damage report system where it is recorded. Okay? And that is being monitored every 15 days, fortnightly, which is being monitored. Whether it requires fire, then we have a system. If the same defect is being repeated in the fleet, say 2, 3 ships saying the compressor or the purifier, then we take a campaign. We say this particular purifier or equipment or emergency gateway or something has been reported this fault frequently. So root cause is this, that is this thing. The emergency generator may be more than 10 years old, their hoses are getting leaked. We have a leak in one of the ships, we immediately share our ships. That's where we're talking about the continuous accuracy measure. And
Right.
this is where we play the role of, because why we are doing it? We are not saying that we are the heroes in the business, but it is a requirement of TMSA which is being pushed.
Yeah, but
So
then
we
forget
have to
about
comply.
PMSA. It is what you're telling is common sense approach. It's a normal common sense approach. But we need an oil major to come and tell us this. This I'm asking something
No,
like that. I mean, it's common sense.
no,
I mean,
no, no,
this
no,
should be
no,
followed by
no.
even bulk carriers, right?
No,
Isn't it?
even if it is no correct, even if it is being done, but there is a way to audit and check. Even for like the TMS, he's not a check,
Yeah,
he's an auditor. The process is
that's
being
fine.
audited.
Agree. I'm saying that it is the oil major is coming because the tanker operators are sleeping. Hey, don't you know you have to do that? Oh, yes, sir, we'll do it. I know it's a TMS requirement. So it's like this that we have, I mean, I'm not oil major, they're doing a fantastic job in this higher VIQ and reasonably good in the TMSA. So by awakening the tanker industry and the offshore operators, you'll get up and pull up your socks because we can't tolerate. ISM doesn't have the necessary teeth to be able to digest the our standards. So they say to come to this. Okay, good. So now we will good feedback from Soina. So and it's good to hear that there is improvement there. But again, when we discuss this, we will check out where exactly you can improve your auditing mechanism and in such a manner that it should be done the way it is supposed to be done and not done the way it is being done, right? So let's understand that how we go about assessing the effectiveness of that familiarization process on board or the bunkering process. That is it effective enough? Is it achieving the desired objectives? Okay, so we'll check that out with an example. So let's take we will take an example of let's
Sir,
say
can I interrupt just 1 minute regarding that episode of Chief Cook starting the emergency fire pump? Understand procedure or system SMS should be so robust that even a layman can start the emergency equipment and all. But again, expecting Chief Cook to start emergency fire pump and emergency generator, it's like same like you are expecting somebody who doesn't cook, you give him a recipe and paper and he will cook good. I mean, we have so much engineers and so many people. That is extreme case that nobody is available and people has to start emergency generator and emergency fire pump. So that is like again going extreme case which auditors are expecting. No?
okay, right, Jitendra, I like your logic there that there are engineers, but tell me one thing. Starting an emergency fire pump in 1995 required two people, one guy cranking, the other guy putting in the throttle, and then you engage the gear and start. In 2024, will it be correct to say that an emergency fire pump can actually be started by one switch? I mean, even not 2024, even in 2010 years back, 2015, will it be correct to say that an emergency fire pump requires nothing but just go there, switch on, and nothing else? Am I correct? You are an engineer, please tell it. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, it's not just pressing a switch. Like, of course, it should be written. You confirm that your suction valve or discharge valve light is on, it is open, the control is in local, not on breeze. All these things, so many things are there. It's not just one
No, there are
button
not.
press.
No, it is not so many things. It is just two or three things. But let me ask you one more question. Is it not in your familiarization process that is it not a requirement of safety SOLAS that every person on board should be familiar on how to start the emergency fire pump? Is it a requirement, yes or no?
Yeah, that is requirement, but that's what my question. This requirement isn't this going on extreme side, expecting a chief cook to be familiar with something which is not his domain. That's what my question is.
No, not necessarily. See, okay, good question. Then let me respond to your query. Now, I'm a chief cook. I came on board and I have to be familiarized with the checklist. There is a familiarization checklist. You can just come up with a good question. I'm not responding to it rationally. So he says, I'm a chief cook. Sort of says, hello, sir, chief cook, please come. I have to summarize it. Oh, yes, sir. I say, hello, chief. See, this is emergency power pump. You have 1, 2, 3. You're supposed to do and press this. You know that? Oh, okay, sir. 1, 2, 3, and I press that. Open the valve, make sure the red light is on, make sure this. Okay, sir, thank you, sir. Okay, bye bye. Now, 3 months later, Jitendra, auditor comes. Hello, cook. Now, two situations, that Jitendra. See where I'm saying, and the process, why the process going. Hello, cook. Can you please take me to emergency fire pump? Oh, yes, sir. Please come. Now, this cook has been familiarized. Yeah. So he goes. One second. One second. Yeah. Okay. Uh, Yeah, so I go there and I tell him, "Excuse me, auditor, and this is the fire pump, and you're supposed to do. I'm supposed to check 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I see. Oh, you've been. Oh, yes, sir. I have to familiarize. Situation number one, Jitendra. Situation number two. The familiarization has been carried on the checklist. Checklist has been signed, and I'm going to come to that. So, Chief Cook, you can take serve emergency fire pump. Were you familiarized? Oh, yes, sir. I'm here 3 months, I've forgotten, sir. I'm not too sure. Actually, he hasn't been taken there. So, the point is, it's about in the first case, the chief cook was taken. He knows just about it. There is no engineer available. All engineers are injured, and he needs to start. And chief engineer somewhere else, second engineer somewhere else, third engineer is injured, fourth engineer is injured, whatever, some situation. So he needs to, he can start, he can make an attempt in this. Second case, he cannot do anything detailed. Agree? Yeah?
Yeah, I agree.
So now we are going to come to this. That's why I'm saying it is the effectiveness of that process. I agree that it is, if an engineer is available, okay, chief cook, don't worry, I'll start the fire pump because he's an engineer, he knows how to start. Engineer is not, chief cook is not required an engineer there, fitter is there. Maybe an oiler knows better than a cook how to start the emergency fire pump. And the chief cook can sit back. So, but in an emergency, middle of the night, or maybe late in the night, he's shutting down and suddenly there's a fire, he comes the morning fire. At least the guy can rush and wake up and he can go and make an attempt. Okay? And that's one of the reasons. Okay, so we will take this process of familiarization, safety familiarization as, and try and assess because I personally believe that the safety familiarization, basic safety, new joiner familiarization is not very well implemented, not adequately implemented on the ship. Uh, it is a different story that I may know, I may not, I may be, let's say, a second officer, third officer, or an AV, not familiar with this particular ship's emergency fire, but I'm quite confident where to find it, and I'm also confident that I'll be able to start it. Now that's another story, but I need to be familiarized because that's the I may press the wrong switch or wrong button. So let's say we'll take this basic new joiners familiarization. Is that okay, everybody? We'll take this process and check out how to look beyond compliance. Montero, sounds good. New joiners, safety familiarization, right?
Yes, sir. It is very important that this will be implemented. And they have everything in the procedure of how to start. As long as they will read and follow all the instructions written. So I think the flow is that because how to start the
Right. Okay, good. So let's say, an auditor comes on the ship and asks the chief cook the same question, and the chief cook is stumped and is unable to respond. So this is a bad auditor. That's an average auditor. Third officer, during the course of auditing, it was observed the cook was unable to demonstrate the familiarity with the emergency fire pump, and thus the familiarization process was not properly carried out. Average auditor. So we'll dump the average auditor for a while and let's see what the good auditor will do. So chief cook, okay, chief cook, okay, never mind, cook, you can go back to the galley. And so now the good auditors sits down with third officer and says, "Hey, hi, third officer." It's like I think he seems to have forgotten how. Maybe you have realized, oh yeah, yeah, so he's these people don't take too much interest in all. Okay, but now you see what the good auditor, a five-star auditor, has to do. Very important. What are the his main job is to understand how is this familiarization process actually implemented on the ship. That means how is the third officer actually carrying out the familiarization? How is the third officer actually, that means that particular process, how is it actually implemented now? Third officer is not going to tell him how it's actually implemented. What's going to happen? Oh, you mean to say you took signatures and the familiarization, but you actually didn't do anything. Okay, one minute. Third officer, I'm giving you non-conformity and we're informing the office now. So please pack your bags and be ready. We don't have any people, we don't like people who just get signatures and do not actually carry out the checks. Oh, no, no, sir, I didn't do it, sir. So the officer, yeah, I did that. So we don't want that. That's the auditor is a good auditor. The auditor has to find out how it's actually being done, and he cannot do that without becoming a good friend of the third officer. In other words, the auditor has to come down at the same level of a third officer, has to understand, has to communicate with the third officer in a manner that the third officer believes that he can now confide into the auditor, internal auditor, open up. That means the job of an auditor, one of the most important jobs, is getting your auditee to open up and tell the auditor the real facts. Yes, Richard. Richard, you were saying something. Is it correct to say that it is what you call? It may almost be an impossible task for the ship staff to actually disclose to an internal auditor how the task is actually being done and not how it is supposed to be done. Yes, Richard.
Yes, sir. As far as as you said, most of the auditors, they are not pushing the crew to do it with you. As long as the crew can perform the task by 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 following, it is more easy for the people to saying that the crew is properly familiarized with the things that we have done.
Right. Yeah. So, Monero, do you believe in this? What I mentioned that there's this what you call. Do you agree with what I just mentioned, or you disagree, or you have some different opinion?
So you are asking whether the auditor is going about to target people, or what is your exact question?
Now, the auditor needs to get friendly so that he's in a position to communicate with the auditee, and auditee opens up. One of the key requirements of auditing is to make the auditee open up. And there's a tendency that auditee remains close-chested, does not open up because there is a fear.
Yeah, it helps. It helps because very often what is happening is people know the answer but they freeze, and especially with the junior officers, this is happening. And in fact, just recently we had a tire inspection, and the tire inspector was demonstrating how tire 2.0 will be implemented. The inspection was not on tire, was not based on tire 2, and he was just testing, and he was showing like what type of questions the person might ask. So one of the requirements is checking the competency. So what was noticed is very confident people who are normally confident, very good people were freezing because they were frightened because this was the first time that uh, somebody was actually telling them, okay, now I'm going to assess you the way Tire 2.0 will be doing. So I think once the confidence is there that the key objective of the inspector is not
to find an observation or to target people, I think people will open up better because the resultant should be to identify the problem with the system, not an individual.
No, but coming back to you're okay, but sire inspectors are not going to do that. Sire inspectors are continue to do their inspection activities. I don't agree with you there. So if the person is not familiar with the procedure, the sire inspector is going to write the person is not familiar. That's it. So he's not going to be doing any analysis like an auditor, and he will continue to do what he's doing. It's just that the scope of the sire audit has expanded to competency checks. It's expanded to
what I'm trying to say is the confidence. If the person gains the confidence of the inspector, knows that the inspector is not there just to find the person, I think the audit will be much better because the auditor will be able to get the correct answer.
So, Montero, don't mix up auditing and inspection. You say inspector is not able to the auditor. I don't mix up the two because they're two different things. Well, yes, there is an issue there that at times people get a bit jittery, even in in the present SIRE 1.0, sometimes the person is not able to respond because we are not talking about that because that's a little bit of a person gets shaken up, gets a bit nervous. We are talking a very simple story that in auditing, if suppose your task as an auditor is to know what is happening on the ship, how is this process actually implemented? Behind your back, you get a fantastic checklist filled up, and one fine day you get a news your ship is in Mauritius, grounded. Hey, grounded? Why? So I don't know the story. What is she grounded? And then you discover it's internet and it's all passage plan and everything. So how is it actually implemented? You will not know unless you get down into that level and take confidence of it. The auditor believes that if I tell the auditor, in fact, I'm not going to be, penalized for that. I'm not going to be victimized. I will be actually helping the company to understand, excuse me, sir, you've written A, B, C, D, E, F, G, but actually we are implementing in X, Y, Z, A, B, N. So, oh, you've done it that way, and why so? Okay, I'll tell you why we've done that. Sit down, auditor, I'll tell you. So that's the way. So you are supposed to do that. So let's look at an effective auditor. The effective auditor sits down with third officer, familiarization. Hey, hi, third officer. You did the familiarization. Let's go and how did you actually do the familiarization? Oh, sir, I'll tell you, sir. And tell me how did this whole thing happen. So he's now trying to get friendly with the third officer. The whole process takes time. If you be an effective auditor, you need a little bit of patience and you need time. But then the end result is something wonderful. So he said, oh sir, this was about 10:30 in the night, and these five new joiners joined. Chief officer was there, the cook was there, two AVs and a fitter. They flew down and they were long distance travel, about 30, 40 hours of travel. They came in a fatigue condition, and at 10:30, quarter to 11, cargo work was in progress. I was on duty, and so when they came in, they were tired, so obviously they went to sleep. Oh, so when did you do familiarization? Oh, familiarization, I'm supposed to do it, but I couldn't do it then, and because they're tired. So, but I did one thing, sir. You see, there's a problem. If I don't do that, the people from the office are going to tell me what do we think. What did you do? Is the captain told me the next morning there's a SIRE inspection or a right ship or a PSC. Take any one inspection, whatever you like, depending on the type of vessel you have. So there was an inspection, SIRE inspection, and the captain told me that please take the familiarization signatures and keep the record because it is possible that the PSC inspector might look for the familiarization record. So when they came on board, I asked them to sign here, and they were half eyes shut, and all of them signed, all five of them, and I kept the records. So my records were updated for the next day's morning inspection. Right. Jitendra, sounds good?
Yeah, very common thing what happens. That is the reality.
It's okay, yeah? So far, so good. Huh? I'm just saying, yeah, I'm on track, right? Yeah. Realistic situation, right? Okay, very good. Now what happens is, and so after that, that we sailed out, and then we had the boat drill and fire drill. So as such, I think we assumed that they got familiarized and all that stuff, but really, I didn't really get down to doing that. Oh, I get your point. What you're saying, also. So third officer, so what is your opinion? Now, please remember that the user is the best person to suggest that what improvements can be made in the process. Here the user is not the captain, third officer is the user. Captain is also on board, the third officer is the user, is actually doing the standardization. So it's best for the auditor. Now, the auditing third officer is not going to tell you so easily. If you have a bad, oh, you need to say you did that. Good auditor, okay. I think third officer, if I was in your place, I think I too would have done the same thing, because obviously I'm busy with cargo work and I can't be taking them around and blah blah blah. So I would also have taken signatures. Don't worry, it's all right. But you tell me third officer one thing. What do you think we should do? This is a suggestion. He's only taking a suggestion from third officer. He's not amending the procedures. So he says, sir, your procedure for conversation, it does not consider that I could be in a port for 48 hours doing cargo work operations for 72 hours or whatever, and I'm busy, sir, and I'm supposed to do the rest. People could be coming late awkward hours, and they could be tired and they'll be in no position to sort of carry out them. If they have a look at the procedure, auditor says, oh yeah, third officer, you're right. That's a good point. Okay, third officer, so I'm writing a non-conformity now. The third officer, now please all of you understand, the third officer is not going scot-free. All of you understand now what this guy will write. Okay. Okay, okay, let's do one thing. I'm not writing that because I'm going to, it's very easy for me to write, but I don't want to write, and I want to give this opportunity to you. Yeah, on your screen, can you see a case study? Okay.
Yes, again.
Okay, very good, excellent. So you have what you call a job to do. You read that case study and go into the chat. So please write your auditor, your NC in the chat. Right. Please write your NC in the chat. Like whatever you can start with during the course of auditing this. As an auditor. So as an auditor, write down your observation. You have 15 minutes for drafting the finding in your own words. Okay. So let's do one thing. It's coffee time also, so I'll give you adequate time, don't worry. So let's do the case study, and so you do me a small favor, all of you, before you go for break 10. It's 10:27, 10:27 to 10:45. Is right and see. So you have a good more than 15 minutes to write your NC, and break is from 10:45 to 11:10. And I'm giving you break also adequate. I'm just feeling 5 minutes from your break timing, half an hour. So half an hour I'm giving you 25 minutes. All's good? Sounds good? We resume at 11:10 hours. Is everyone clear? So please read that, write your non-conformity note in the chat, and then there are 17 of you. We won't discuss all 17. We'll just pick up one or two samples for discussion. But all of you have to write it down. So I'll just pick up one or two, samples. I've actually brought you right up to the finish line. Now let's see what you write down. Okay, all good? Everyone clear?